I mean, generally depends.
The joke's on you. It doesn't.
I think
Now
he
you
tries
can
to
say
avoid
like
them whenever possible.
tactfully avoid them or at them with a sledgehammer.
I mean, yeah, no, he tries to avoid them whenever possible. I think is actually probably like the best answer for him.
All right, that's telling. We have the first question of our new character. All right then,
Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
Roya, your turn is next. Let's see what your question is. How does your character prepare for an ambush?
How does my character prepare for an ambush?
Yep.
Like, is she the one ambushing other people, or is she the victim of this ambush?
Ambushes are not prepared.
No, she's the one doing the ambushing. She's the one essentially setting the trap.
Oh.
What nature of said trap? It could be anything. Be it like just trying to corner a person to get them to talk or do other things, or just a straight up assault and or murder.
She will try to avoid murder because I want to have as much fun as possible.
Well, like I said, this one's open to you. How do you prepare for an ambush? What kind of ambush? I'll leave up to you.
So, funny you should ask. I think for her, preparing for an ambush means making sure everyone knows their role when it comes to ambushing. If she's by herself, making sure she understands her role and what she needs to do. She won't ambush someone for her own goals, so more than likely this would be because someone hired her for it. So I believe with her, it is about what is not the optimal way to accomplish her goal, but what way would bring about the most entertainment for her. There's definitely a lot of traps laid out.
Okay. Well, that's definitely. Ooh, that is very much character revealing. I like that. All right.
That fits, I think.
Lastly, we have. Where is she? Let's see what yours was in that too.
All right. What's my question?
How does your character calm down when they're feeling overwhelmed? Is there a specific thing they do, or do they have different?
Going for a walk is one. Definitely. And we saw how all those walks ended up. But yeah, I'd say going for a walk, getting some fresh air.
Yeah. I mean, walk, grocery list.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then. With that, I believe we are ready to begin again.
Meet a helpful stranger. You never know. Mm-hmm.
That's fine. It was fine. Yes, now back.
Plus,
And you all that a conversation for when both you find out, you tell me. We begin the next morning. Most of you have already woken up. Some of you have noticed some changes. Some of you have just, realized, oh, that wasn't a dream. That should actually happen last night. And others are just, well, we begin the day. Quick recap with everything that happened with Virtue. As stated before, outfit completely revamped, by which you still proceeded to do the normal things very early morning for that service, and you did notice, people seemed a bit surprised. No one really gave you anything other than just a look of surprise, and then continued on for was completely normal. But yeah, you can choose to go to that morning service before you, I'm assuming, you're going to go meet up with the rest of your compatriots. I don't know what you guys agreed. I don't know if you guys even agreed to do anything in form of meeting up. You just celebrated the night before parting ways, so that's about it.
I don't think we formally said anything.
No.
I mean, I think the two of us are just gonna go and get some breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
is there anything anyone wants to do? Anyone want to go first specifically, or do you want to just roll it out and see who does what first? Just to specify, this is now day 2. Before you hit day 3 of the day you have to, assuming you're still taking the job, leave with disarming.
So then would that mean the next day we would start the job, or is it like
Absolutely.
the day after?
No, the job would start the day after, on the third day. You guys would meet up.
Okay.
Get some prepare for.
So what I'm hearing is we have 2 more tries to go into that arena.
If you want, you are what?
Oh no!
Drag this out forever.
We're never.
That is an honest option. I treat this as it is. You can grind in there if you want, just Final Fantasy style, and go into this, 3 levels over what I planned.
Respectfully, while that was
I'm
definitely
intrigued by
fun,
this story.
I feel like that would get kind of dull. And considering how much, we could find other.
You guys will be over leveled for what I had put you in, but there will definitely be things that you will know you are not. There are visibly wandering giants in the forest that you know probably shouldn't mess with. And people will tell you.
I also wouldn't mind seeing if there's anybody, any jobs we might take that can kick up some dirt. That's what the situation is out here.
Depends on the dirt you want to kick up. This is a very big island. There are a lot of people here. You kick dirt in any random direction, you don't know, unless you know what you're aiming for, you could kick up nothing, you could kick up everything.
Partially as well, though, that was probably something that came up during the breakfast that they were having to see what Roya's reaction is. Is she also interested in that, or something else? Do you literally just want to go fight a whole bunch of monsters before we go out and fight more monsters?
Y'all have a whole day. Whatever y'all want to do.
Go shopping for some weapons? I mean, I got a decent chunk of change now.
I don't know. I have some cool weapons already.
Figure out what the stranger meant by keeping the mask on.
Yeah, have we met up with Virtue, or is she still at her service at this point?
Assuming, and like I said, this is assuming you guys not yet.
I remember
specified.
we were just starting the service.
Your early morning, you're starting the service unless there's something you want to do. This is an early morning, 6 a.m. service. So I don't know what time the others woke up to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You might already be finished with that and doing whatever it is you choose to do. So I'm going to just ask for a quick time. What time do you guys think you'd be waking up the morning after that lovely little bar excursion?
Sorry. Did you guys want to do like a scene of like what was happening during the service, or is it pretty like a fairly standard service sort of thing?
It's a fairly standard
Not
service. Nothing
something
really
that
pops
can
out.
happen during the service.
For the most part, nothing seems to happen until the very end. But like I said, I wanted to get a fixed point on what time were you guys planning on waking up.
Probably sleeping in, I'm assuming. Two of them.
Yeah.
And then like
ballpark it for me, like 10, 11, 12, 1.
All right, I don't
3.
think that late.
8, 9, maybe 10.
I would probably say like around 10.
10.
Yeah,
okay.
like
We've got roughly 4 hours before they will do their wake up and do their thing. So we're gonna pop right into.
Mm-hmm.
I think
And
they
for the most
stayed up
part-
pretty late the night before.
I mean that
Haha.
again. This is why you're an elf. We need only 4 hours. If
I'm
everyone
not.
else needs 8, we have plenty of time to do shit.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
But okay, so then after, if nothing
the
of note
service,
happens at the service, what goes on?
right. Yeah.
Okay. So at the service, and everything was essentially going as you expect, with the occasional had someone essentially staring at the outfit, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
seem to be. It's nothing negative, nothing like you were afraid of. They might have thought. It's just a look of curiosity, and you catch one or two that almost look like it was recognition. For a second, they were studying, like if they were looking at it and trying to remember something. But then they quickly just shake it off and continue. Like with the it's not the time for this. And everything seems to go fine without a hitch, and the service seems to end. Now that it has, are you going to stay, leave? What would you like to do? The service seems to have come to an end.
I mean, stay, I suppose. I mean, Virtue doesn't know whether she can walk about, whether she can stay or go freely after what the stranger told her. Gonna hover awkwardly, like watching the people, trying to figure out, do they seem to be putting on a facade at all? Like she seems to be like pressured, pushed, coerced into doing here.
You could do an insight check on the church, as everyone seems to be finishing up now that the last bits have been finished.
Absolutely. 18.
No. Really. As far as you can tell, everyone seems genuine as they have been the other times you've been to, one of these messes. Different people, a few oddities here and there, but everyone, for the most part, seems to be, from what you can tell, seems to be acting normal. Everything seems
What
just
the
like
heck?
any other day.
That's bizarre. And she's gonna start chatting to the stranger. Stranger. Everything seems to be fine. What were you talking about? What did you mean by keep the mask on? No one else here seems to be putting on a facade.
And as people begin to leave and are past you, they do seem to be giving you a slight berth, roughly 5 feet, because normally they just try and even the people on the pews next to you. to seem to be going around you. And some of them do give you a quick nod, and as you look around as you say these words, stranger seems to blink almost next to you, as if he's just another person sitting there at this mass. Seems to have a book he seems to be flipping through.
Oh, what's the book?
And you can make me. Are you trying to obviously look, or are you trying to grab a quick glance?
I mean, I'm looking at this man. I'm trying to figure out anything that he can tell me.
So, but are you like focusing on him, or are you trying to just specifically look at the
Directly
book?
or indirectly.
He has it more because it's halfway open. So if you try to grab a quick look, you might be able to glance a few words at the edge of the page, not like a full verse or passage of whatever might be written here, depending.
She'll lean in and try to get a decent look.
Okay, then this would be straight roll.
Straight roll.
Yeah, quick perception.
Perception? Or just straight? Yeah, straight. Anyway.
Straight perception.
Okay. Come on, thingy. Roll out. 8?
All right, and you notice these words, and they seem to be shifting. Not so much that they're moving around, but the language seems to be changing. And remind me again, what languages do you know?
I know Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Then you catch as it's flipping through, and you're not sure if the words or meaning might be changing, but you catch something in between Infernal and Elvish and then an ending in Common. It's a phrase going down the page before he slowly begins to close the book and address you. The moon has awakened, the sleep of the sun.
The moon has awakened the sleep of the sun. Whatever that means.
That was the first part. The second part, and it only glitched in at Common at the end. The gaze is broken, the spell has begun.
Ooh.
And the way he closes it is with, like, you know, that one hand like forcibly closing a book. Almost look like he. This has every indication in the game. You have no way of knowing this, of just a harsh hanging up of a phone, like when he just slams the book closed. You can just see it on his face, like he was getting the end of a message he did not like.
Gotcha. Then she'll skirt around to where she's facing him directly. What was that you're reading? What is going on?
Which question do you want first?
Well, the first of the book. What is it?
Many things. Normally, whatever I needed. Now, what was your second question?
What is going on? People are skirting around me. You told me to keep the mask on. You seemed upset. What is happening?
Yes, I did. I was, and I still am, only slightly. And I'll apologize for being worse last night. However, I will ask to keep this. And he just gestures to all of you. Just be careful how you present yourself.
Do you mean careful
No,
how I
this-
present myself to whom?
This isn't your fault. You're never told. Just the way you came up. There was more to it than just your father hoping to give you a good life and teaching you what he hoped would be good. He'd say values, morals, and whatnot. Regardless, I told you last night something. I was hoping you would be a bit more prepared, a bit stronger before I could fully tell you what was really happening and why we're here. Once you found the priest, his father, or at least the notes, it might have been easier, but this has become a bit more complicated. For the time being, just focus on what you're doing. Grant the favors you need, which you have to. Find the father. I can explain more once he has found you. Just keep the mask on. And when he says mask, he just gestures to everything. He says roughly everything. He just gestures to all of you.
Okay. Now, what did he say about a father? I was really trying to listen hard, but things are spotty on my end.
Yeah, he was asking, telling me to go find the father that you were told to look for, who had the records and who you also figured out worked with your father during his during his younger days.
Okay, so the group that my dad ran with in his younger days.
Yes. Do you have the name of the father I gave you? I have it right here.
I don't think so.
Here it is, Father Petrus.
Father Petrus, that's right.
And you were told he'd likely be at the town New Saint. Yeah, city of Saint Matthias, very far to the west. The main city of the city of Theum.
Okay. And we're not on our way to the city of Saint Matthias, right?
No, but you
We're
have
off
gotten
to
a
a
job with
different city.
Desarde. Actually, no, that's one of his stops. The thing is, it's either going to be a coin toss, whether you're going to, because the bodyguard job with Desarde was to escort him to San Mateus and to Hickman, which are both of the main, the biggest cities of the other continents. But they never said which one they were going to first. So you can either try and ask him to go to one first, or specifically, but he does need to go to. She does need to go to both, and they have asked you to bodyguard her there, back, and to the other. Whether you can somehow ask her to go there, talk her into it, I don't know how you do it, but essentially, they're going to both, but you don't know which one they'll go to first. Whether you try to persuade her to go one way or the other, it's okay. But you know that is one of the stops that they will have to make. So you know, if you stick with them,
All right.
eventually you'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then it's not the congregation I'm worried about. Gotta find Father Petrus. Go to St. Matthias. Let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? Then I will seek him out. In the meantime, what shall I do?
It's not that she can't or forbid you from doing anything. It's I don't know what happened last night. I said I wasn't really there, but whatever it was exposed you to something. Revealed you. I'm not sure what it was exactly. Looked into your memory of it. I did do a few things and I didn't know what it was that triggered it. The priority for us now is keeping you off. Well, getting them off your list. But now, continue as you were, because before last night, they had no idea. They were ignorant of you completely, and that's what I'm hoping to return us to until we're finished. Until then, it's up. Just continue as if nothing were wrong. And enjoy the new style. People seem to... Well, it's certainly a conversation style. And he just walks behind you and vanishes.
Oh, very well. And, those left in the silence, she'll mull over what he's just told her once more. And then, kind of ride the wave outside to the church with the rest of the congregation.
That live birth seems to follow you around. No one, at least not with any real intention, seems to get within 5 feet of you. They'll keep that distance. Doesn't seem to be any specific malice or something. When someone does get that close, they just smile, bow, and move on their way. Specifically with the people of the chimps.
They're bowing to me? Like just a cordial, like, oh, how do you do bow?
Yeah.
Or like a bit more of a elevated bow?
It's slightly past cordial. You think it might be just they were just in a hurry the first few times it happens, but then it becomes very repetitive. You've seen these before. Some of them do so specifically with fathers of the church or sisters. Usually those on a little bit of the higher ups. Catches you very off. The people you've never seen before. It would normally just be a smile, a wave, a hello. None of that this time.
These are some respectful NPCs. Squeak.
All good. I mean, you were only there for like an hour or so. You've got roughly 3 hours before anyone else wakes up. So what would you like to do?
I guess kind of... I'd like to wander around, kind of following different parts of the congregation here, like trying to overhear what they have to say, if they have any information about the island or the church or inner workings that I can just kind of pick up from eavesdropping.
Do some light eavesdropping. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's not formal, probably, but
I mean, if you'd like, you can give me your choice of stealth or performance to try to not be too obvious if you're trying to overhear people talking, specifically looking for people you set up the congregation.
Mm-hmm. Gonna make that a performance.
All right, go ahead. Just act like you're doing your own thing while you're trying to listen.
Ooh! That is a nat 20 plus 4, 24.
And it's weird and odd how something you've only recently started dabbling in has come to you so not without effort. It just seems to come a bit more naturally in this little bit of pretending to be
What's coming to me more naturally? Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Performance.
Okay.
This performance here coming to you far more naturally than you thought
Yep.
it would have.
Mm-hmm. Which is good.
And you start to overhear. And this is specifically people of the congregation, so lovely. Roll me a quick d6, if you would.
A D6, absolutely. 4.
You hear that, and this is essentially news coming from outside of town, that one of the tribes, don't say which, but one of the tribes has reached out for help in their current war with the Bridge Alliance. And supposedly very soon, but not yet determined, a very large battle will take place between one of the larger tribes of the island and the main military of the Alliance. And tensions are a little high, not knowing whether the theocracy will aid assistance, or will give them assistance, or whether they'll even make it on time. I'll put it this way. From the town you guys are at to St. Matthias would be, it's roughly 3 days to get there, assuming you're going anywhere from 8 to 10 hours on foot. That's not counting like a normal traveling caravan. That'll maybe shave a day and a half or so off, depending on what you meet along the way. But from here to there would be 3 days. Same thing as it'd be 3 days from here to Hickman on the other side of the island. So whether they say yes and whether any reinforcements get there, be anyone's guess. But that's supposedly the current, or the newest buzzing rumor that's been going around. And this is going around because, for the most part, the theocracy has been doing their best to try to invite or ingratiate many of the tribes with essentially conversion and trying to get them with their current religion. And there's a few branching points, some good and some bad, as the saint that the city that they built is named after, roughly 50 years ago, supposedly came to an island and settled with an unknown group of natives to said island. Supposedly this is the island, but there's no way of knowing for sure, as they've never really found any evidence. His tomb, or his final days, while only told about by his last remaining disciple who came back to tell the story, only had it as a story and was never really definitively proven. And what shook that bit of revelation at the time was the god that first little group was trying to essentially spread, at first was met with like a bit of violent resistance with the islanders, until one of them was able to prove They believe that they showed it with their magic that where their belief came from, which show them that theirs might have been something else. And a few versions of the story exist. Some say that they were able to beat them with it. Others said that they were simply showing one is good and one is evil, and others said that it simply showed the same thing, but through a different medium. But no one really found what it was. Supposedly the god they worshipped on that island was the same one that they were talking about back on the mainland. But no one was able to get a congruent story. That's why many expeditions were sent out to try and find what happened to them, what became of him, and the rest of the expedition, what his final days were. Man, that into 20. Damn it. And that 20 really let you get real. You found like the talkity like scribe of the church in it.
Just how it is with random chance.
Yeah. And anything decent would have gotten you like the bit about the war, but with that nat 20, you got that little lesson of supposedly, because there have been expeditions to this island and a few others that were discovered, not as big, but they did have a few people on there, and they've just been trying to find the one that he made it onto during his little expedition of the rest of the world. But yeah, that's basically what you hear. That's the juiciest bit you hear for most of your little searching, depending on how much time you want to spend doing it.
Well, not too much time, just kind of listening as I go, sort of marauding back towards the tavern where I left my friends the night before.
Oh wait, we're friends?
So some say.
That is what she believes with all her heart.
Aww.
As well as the fact that one of them may have like straight up just left town in the next, caravan. And who knows if we'll ever see them again.
Are you meaning Neris? I guess we didn't talk about where he would go, but I mean, he's up to you now.
I mean, for him, I have, because it like I said, it wouldn't have taken much for him to.
Maybe he's
go to
building
the
sets
last.
for the circus.
I mean, that's an honest possibility. If like someone offered him enough money, and it would not be hard at all to, figure out a good way to build something for him. It's like, there you go, money, and it's done. It's easy money.
Yeah.
But he probably would have gone off to take care of the letter he was given. It's one of the main, quick little side job. Now he has been told specifically where to go to give it to and who it was, and
especially now that he knows more.
Now he knows more. He knows who to look for, who to ask, how to do it, politely. If this isn't creep or anything, this is a friend who's just very far away. 10 pounds, I guess.
Yeah.
And you were, he was giving his thanks, or who knows how he was giving his thanks. Y'all can ask him if you ever see him again. And now he's off to do his thing, which he is now very, very well funded.
Very well funded. And we'll see what we see of him.
Yeah. You might find him with a nice little shop.
It'll just be like the merchant from RE4. Welcome, stranger.
It might. Sadder version is he got jumped by one of those super dangerous animals I tell you guys about on his way there, and you guys unknowingly end up avenging him somewhere along the journey.
Could be the case.
No.
Who knows?
You ragdoll too hard.
Too much ragdoll.
Too much ragdoll.
He got too used to being on a team. He forgot that he was now alone. But yeah, no, you make it to the tavern. And you've got roughly, I'll give you another hour if you'd like to do anything, unless you'd just like to wait and hopefully your friends show up there and not go out and do their own thing. But who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Well, yeah. Breakfast is good.
All right.
So I guess I
All right.
can
Well, you can enjoy some breakfast.
find a
most
spot,
definitely.
sit down, and get cozy. Mm-hmm.
And time passes by, and the both of you wake up and have that little conversation as you do, and soon decide to go get breakfast. I don't know where you guys decided to stay, whether it was, well, wherever it was, decides to go and go do the thing.
Did the spa resort? Did they have rooms, or I guess should we just
They can. They're just a little bit more expensive than the normal inns because that's a spa.
How much nicer are they?
Yeah. I guess
Yeah, not something any of you guys really would.
I mean, we probably could have done the services and then book it somewhere else for the night. I don't know.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I don't know how fast you guys were to do that.
There was the tavern in the same area though, because it's like an underground, it's
spa,
almost like
fighting
a
ring,
shopping mall.
and tunnel to go somewhere to go to the other bar was above the original bar / inn on the side of the police station.
Okay. So let's just say maybe a nearby tavern or something.
That works.
It's up to you guys. Whatever you guys want.
Let's say that maybe we said to Virtue before she left for the night that we would meet there in the morning at the tavern, or should we go to the bar?
Would she
For
remember?
breakfast.
Because Virtue was wasted.
That's right. That is
Yeah.
correct. That's right.
She was waist-weighted.
Waist-weighted.
Mm-hmm. I want to get chocolate wasted.
Except she got real wasted.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
We can just say, for simplicity's sake, same tavern that Virtue went to. Probably got a room at an inn nearby there, and that's where we're going for breakfast. Because I don't know if Virtue knows of many other inns. Roya will probably pick this one anyways, because
Not
it's closest to
really.
her favorite bar.
I mean, we've only had a handful of bars so far, but it would make sense that it would be our favorite so far.
That would make sense. Yeah, no, you can definitely decide to meet up there, and probably you guys would be walking in and you'd see Virtue probably just getting her meal and whatever else she decided to get while she, I guess, waited for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Have a good breakfast. Hanging out, people watching,
Breakfast.
contemplating ways
Right.
to make things right.
You do, and as soon as you see these two, and I have no idea, tell me, did you guys at all, well, I actually don't remember, I think.
I mean,
No,
we
yeah,
dressed.
Yeah, no, I was
would
gonna ask,
hope so.
how well did you dress? Was this a quick, just get on and get out thing, or did you take time to make yourself look your best? Is this a priority for you or not?
I mean, I can't speak for Virtue, but I'd say probably not the absolute best, but got
Well, speak for V. I'll let Roya, Sky speak for Roya, and Heidi speak for V.
decently everything's put together. Hair's maybe not the most neat it could be.
So you leave, do you leave the bed head, or do you try a little bit to straighten it out?
I mean, his hairstyle is kind of scraggly for the most part anyway, so it's kind of brush it, but with his hand, just kind of make it look somewhat neat.
Oh. That can only do so much.
Yeah, no, you gotta be careful with that kind of a bird's nest. But no, you do you. V is V.
I mean, he washes it, fairly regularly. It's just not the priority at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting with some duke or something? I don't know. I don't know about at this tavern. What do you got? The mayor of this town?
So Roya goes through an entire routine in the mornings.
I love how you were probably just down. I don't know who got up first, but one of you was eventually waiting.
I mean, we got up around the same time, I think, with last time.
I think
Jolted awake.
Yeah, V woke Roya up. So around the same time. But
And was Roya hoping to keep sleeping, or did she just wake up?
No, when she's awake, she's awake. Unfortunately.
Slept in a decent bit. It's mid to late morning, so we got a decent bit of sleep.
True.
Yeah. But I love the juxtaposition of Roya doing her intense, rigorous, morning routine of, probably, at least a solid half hour. Meanwhile, V's just, sitting there, groggy, a little bit of water in his hair and just kind of brushing it with his hand.
Yeah, you probably didn't see it, but she had a fake mannequin that she just put practice stabbing, vital points, practice stealing.
Some stretches, some warm-up routines, and then got into morning exercises.
V probably does some stretches as well. That's actually also fair.
Every now
Fairly
and then,
limber, so she probably did a few curls.
As Roy is walking around the room, she'll go over to V and just ruffle up his hair again.
He will actually kind of chuckle at that.
Okay, roll me a D100. Anything less than 10 and your hair is getting caught.
Me or V?
Yeah, do you want me to roll or her to roll?
Yes.
Yes?
Both of you roll.
Double the chance.
79.
Oh, I got a 90.
Alright, then you're fine. So you actually straightened your hair out somehow with that little head.
He's got very, weird hair.
Very temperamental hair.
Very temperamental hair.
That's fine.
You saw the character.
Lucky.
Just like his owner.
I say this because I've seen it happen. Someone doing that cute ruffle thing, they got their nails stuck in their hair.
Yep. I was like, oh no, wait, hold on. This might actually be a thing.
Oh. And if you've got painted nails and your nail polish is starting to flake up, then you're catching your hair on it super bad.
Ooh.
Yeah. Especially if you don't know that your nails are cracked a little bit, so you could just start tugging some hairs too.
I do not think nail polish would be a very, dry nail polish is a good thing to have in your hair.
No. Better than wet nail polish than dry, but
Yeah.
You'll be fine. But like I said, you guys passed, and you guys went to, assuming the bar for breakfast and or meet up. And you're now together. What would you like to do? One of you has already ordered a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, ordering breakfast.
Yeah. I think seeing Virtue, Roy is gonna be a little bit shocked a bit because someone looks different.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if V recognizes Virtue at all. He just maybe sees Roy put attention to that person, but just assumes it's somebody else she knows. So he's just kind of ignoring her at the moment.
Rude. That's fine, we only just met.
Huh. Roya will go over to Virtue.
But yeah, Virtue's just basically glancing around, trying to blend in. And, upon seeing Roya, Virtue will smile. Oh, good morrow. Did you sleep well?
It is you.
Didn't
Okay.
stay up too late, I hope.
What?
It is me. Do I look that different?
I mean, it's definitely a change, but
Finishing ordering his food, V's just gonna kind of come over and say, "Wait, are you the same person as last night?" And he's just gonna kind of like mime like a drinking sort of motion with his hand.
now that's just rude. How can you forget your dance partner from last night?
Well, under other circumstances, I'd say that would be quite memorable, but well, especially considering she looks so different. What happened? Did you just go to a salon early morning, or what's the deal?
No. I went to bed, and when I woke up, everything was just a little different. Hospitality of the churches.
Oh, wait, so you're saying you woke up like this?
The church did this to you in
Yes,
your
indeed.
sleep?
Apparently so. That must have been one potent drink that you gave me.
Remind me to never sleep in a church.
I mean, hell, I knew somebody that would have killed to wake up like that. Or with a makeover like that. Yeah.
But the thought of someone going in and touching you while you're asleep, it just
And you're
doesn't
fine?
sit right with me.
Nothing weird happened? No incidents with the priest or anything like that?
Virtue will shake her head, but more importantly, she is going to smile at Roya. Roya, you do care. I knew we were becoming friends.
Oh. Sure, if that... I'm gonna go order breakfast. Oh, by the way, Virtue, this is V. Virtue. He'll be joining us on
Yes.
a trip.
Oh, you do remember last night?
Ah.
I wasn't entirely certain.
Bits and pieces. Did I make a spectacle of myself?
A bit of one. Trust me, I've seen people be a lot more wild with their liquor.
Oh dear.
No, that's. I'm not entirely certain what your deal is because we didn't talk all that much last night. It was mostly just dancing. But nothing I don't think you'd necessarily disapprove of. At least that I saw.
Well, dancing is certainly a pleasure I would not have been allowed before, nor would drinking, really. But Roy was so
Really?
polite, and we were just celebrating our victory, and I didn't want to turn it down.
No
No.
dancing?
Are
None
you
at
very
all?
familiar?
Sorry.
Well, it's sinful.
Oh, you're one of those. I see. Sorry, you were gonna ask something?
What do you mean by one of those?
One of the people that considers even dancing sinful. And he kind of like puts a hand up to his forehead, like the back of his hand up to his forehead, kind of like leaning back dramatically. Oh, what a horror!
Well,
The gods
yes.
will never forgive us.
Just to clarify, did he say horror or whore?
Horror. But
Both are fitting.
both could fit.
Either one works.
That's. Okay, so that's like even dancing. Nope, that's a hoe.
Well,
Oh,
it is
you tap your
usually
foot.
seen
You're a
as
hoe.
far.
Sorry.
Well, it is generally seen as too tantalizing.
Tantalizing. I see.
Yes.
He's got a kind of a goofy grin on his face. Like he wasn't sure what your entire deal was, but he just figured it out. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I guess my next question would be, how does somebody who considers dancing a sin end up what I assume is 1,000 miles away from your home and going on a mission to escort nobles through treacherous monster-filled wastelands? And I'll also add in all the magic I saw you
Well, it's
slinging.
quite a long story, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
oh, well, about that,
Oh, don't tell me, is it sinful
it,
too? Sorry.
it's something that I've simply picked up, and I left home. Well, I was taken in by a very good family. I was an orphan, you see, and I'm now searching for any record that I can find of my parents.
I see.
And I was hoping by taking such a mission as this, and because by a choice meeting with, what is he again? Prince, Baron, Duke?
The new governor's cousin.
Governor, that's right.
Governor.
Yes. As the
Governor's
prince.
cousin, thank you. By
Yeah.
taking this escort mission with the governor's cousin. Right.
I see.
Anyways,
Okay.
I was hoping to discover information by taking this escort mission across the island, making stops to inquire there.
All right. It's a lot at once, but I suppose I got a better understanding now. It seems like this is more personal, which is fair.
Yes.
I guess we'll see how this shakes out.
And what about you, V? What
Oh,
brings someone such as yourself to our little group?
I'm came here for some personal reasons. It's just I'll repeat what I told your friend last night. To a certain degree, I'm kind of trying to, and again with air quotes, find myself. But
Find yourself.
yeah, maybe make a new life over here, but things. And he's kind of like pausing for a minute. I've got a bit of a condition that I'm trying to
Secret?
just trying to sort things out before things fall apart. I know that's incredibly vague and probably pretty stereotypical to say I left my home to find myself, but it's not exactly wrong. But yeah, I've got a bit of condition that I'm thinking the heard that out here the medicine's supposed to be both physical, magical, and psychological should be the best, so hopefully that'll...
Well, that's right. There's a
Hmm? Forgot about
there's
the
still a
plague?
plague going on. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
No,
right.
big plague.
And,
It's slowly coming to the island as well, but only affecting people from the continent. No one native to this island has caught it.
I will say,
great. At this
There
point,
is a
Richie will
giant
just,
pyre of
magically
dead
pull
bodies
out a.
out of town.
At this point, Richie will just magically pull out a measuring tape, measure out 6 feet, and then just scoot away. No, I'm kidding.
no, you will definitely notice that as he's bringing this up, it's nothing he's more pale than like your average person. I think you probably notice, but he's not showing very many clear signs
Doesn't
of
look
like
sick.
sickness. He's not coughing his lungs out. He doesn't have a runny nose. Doesn't have any. I think like you've described the
Neither
plague
does every
as.
child, and you're getting sick every month.
I don't think he has any of the
Sneaky.
I don't think he has any of the
The
sores
symptoms
or
for like this specific
symptoms.
kind of plague don't manifest as the normal sicknesses until way later in the stage.
Yeah.
You first become as pale as an albino. The veins of like your blood and skin start becoming very visible through your skin, and it just looks like underneath your skin, it's like a slow rot that just sets in.
But I think you're probably able to tell that he does not appear contagious.
Mhm.
And despite some experimenting, nobody knows exactly what causes it to spread. People just one day wake up with it with no explanation, and there's just no cure.
Fine.
Mm.
I think at this point, Roya comes back from ordering her own food. So,
Yeah.
Twilight, what do you think? Should be a fun mission, no?
Good way to see the island. Get some coin and learn a bit more about the situation out here. I'm sure things are as tense as they were back home, but yeah, no, I'm down. See what's the situation out here.
Well, we have a bit of time to kill before then.
Yeah. Any ideas?
I mean, we could
Leap.
go down to the arena again. Not to fight,
Taking
not
up
to
a
fight,
crack at it?
Oh my.
not to fight. Seeing Virtue's face probably immediately, not to fight. But to
Play
watch.
some bets?
Spectre? Yeah.
Yeah.
We could take the odd job. She'll point to the job board, or wherever the job board was.
Definitely wouldn't be opposed to seeing some more magic.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting my hands dirty a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I
See where that takes us.
recently come into some decent coin, so wouldn't mind spending a bit of it.
You're welcome. But sure, let's go check out the job board after breakfast.
Yeah, make
See
sure
what we
there's
find.
something that can get taken care of before.
Relatively quickly.
Yes.
There's gotta be some easy jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something that won't take us across the new continent. We already got one of those.
So eating.
Okay, so
and then going to the job board.
Eating. Who's doing what? Okay, job board. Who's going there specifically?
I think
Three of
after we're
us.
finishing,
I'll go
Are
to
we
the
all
job
going?
board.
I think we're all going.
All of you?
I think
Yes.
so.
Okay, all of you. All right, and just to double check, between all of you, how many languages does everyone here speak?
I know we're not. I know this is strange, but I think for the first time ever, we're not splitting
3.
the party.
Woo! I got 5. I got common, elvish, giant, goblin, and orc.
I only got common, elvish, and undercommon.
Common, elvish, and infernal.
Did you need those languages written out, Tyler? Or are you good?
Yeah, no, if y'all could put those, like, it could be anywhere in the chat. I hope.
I'm assuming you probably just exclude common.
No, it's good to have that in there too. You never know. I picked a character once without common just to make it difficult for everybody. It was fun.
How
Fair
fun.
enough.
I specifically had a character who only spoke Orcish, which I just made it sound like a very brash, like blunt Dutch.
Neat.
Ooh, Dutch is cool.
You know those hyper, like those compression channels? There's one, this dude's got this awesome accent. I don't know if it's Dutch, might be from, I can't remember. It's great. It's essentially the guys from Family Guy. One running joke about those two blonde guys.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about, but
I do not either.
Oh god, my dyslexia just hit me so hard right now. For a second I said that Roya spoke Elvis.
I mean, probably also yes.
hey,
Language of the king.
Go on an adventure.
I speak Elvis.
Stop.
Elvis
Oh god,
Presley.
no. My head's making an NPC, god damn it. You will not meet him yet. That is a reward you will earn later. But the king has been created in my head.
I was about to meet Elfish.
I've got the art for him, you've seen it.
That would be a fun prompt for a why am I blanking on it?
That's how you do an
Right.
Elvish bard.
Yeah. Elfish Presley.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that we at least all share one sub-language.
Yeah, we all speak Elvish.
We all got Elvish.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, currently,
And we all
this
got common.
nice little goggling of languages. Depending on what you guys are looking for, because you see there are a few odd jobs that I don't know if would be to your interest, but they're there. Specifically, like messengers via day-by-day basis for a few different companies, and one is Elvish, one is in Orcish, the other one happens to be in Common. Then there's two in Infernal that just essentially mining. It's for materials for a blacksmith. The other one seems to be for the city. Those seem to be long-term contracts. Then, right in the center, you find... Oh, these are the two that might grab your interest. One is asking for a quick and clean pest removal for a small infestation just outside of the main town near the farming lands just northwest of the town where more of the farming goes on. And then the second one, you recognize this first, Virtue. It's the same one you picked up, but the name is different.
Yes.
And the place is different. But you recognize that odd little bit of handwriting the first time the stranger, pointed it out and scribbled out a few things. You don't need them this time. You recognize this is likely. This is what it was. None of you, unfortunately, have Thieves' Cant, so...
No.
Not at the moment.
Maybe we should take this flyer to the police.
I mean,
Or we could go
do you
beat 'em
tell
up.
V what happened? Because I'm assuming he just picks up that's, oh yeah, let's not do that one. That's not gonna be good.
I don't know if she'll take the time to explain it to him, but
I
don't even think
like,
Roya knows. I just know that you got
She might.
arrested.
is
Mhm.
V able to read that one?
No, you read what it said originally, the same thing. Help.
Help with a door, but this is yeah. So yeah, I think V looks at it, reads it, and points out oh yeah, let's not do this one.
Yeah, that
This is,
one looks a little sketchy.
Suspicious as hell.
Pest removal, though, that could be fun.
That could be good. How much is the reward stated on there?
It says pricing to be discussed if interested.
Negotiable. Could be worth our time, could be less than worth our time, just kind of depends on how much the offer is and how much BS is involved.
Well, we could at least go check it out.
All
Alright.
beat down a couple doors, strangle some people. It'll be great.
I don't
I
think
don't
they're
know
meaning
if
that
that's
type
the
of pest.
type of pest.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are referring to that type
And
of
take
pest.
the flyer with us.
Yeah, let's check this one out. Probably not the most exciting thing, but it's what's on the board.
It'll kill some time. Taking that flyer, going to whoever we need to accept the job.
Alright, the same dwarf you saw, Drunken Super, that shot
Hey.
this thing last time, and he just gets up and sees that you have one. And he does give it a stamp of approval. And then he says, alright, you can go and find him. And he stops for a second like he's trying to taste something in the air. And he just takes something out of his desk, small booklet, flips through it real quick. And there he is.
Trying to see where it is. Sorry.
Great. Look. You're gonna find him. It's a gnome. About my shoulder. He's got red hair, one eye, and if you sneak up on him, he's gonna cut. But You should pay well to get rid of those things. I'll tell you now, it's probably going to be kobolds or little spider fucks. If you got lucky again, it might just be some of the little bad bats. Annoying little bastards. Yeah, no, you can find about by the farm. Leave town, north gate, hit the west side march as if you're in one of the roads to St. Ace.
How far
It'll
out?
be like the first big village. Maybe 10 minutes a walk. It's not that far.
Okay.
It's actually pretty close.
Yeah. It'll be down. If you hit a bridge with a river, pass it.
Okay.
If you hit a bridge with a river and there's a small undervalley with some natives living there, you really passed it, and they're actually pretty nice. They're actually, assuming you're not attacking them first, they're pretty decent for travelers. They'll probably give you directions how to get back to us, and you can try again.
Good to know.
Good luck. Like I said, don't sneak up on them.
Good. We'll definitely keep that in mind.
Definitely.
Way of like letting him know specifically, or is it just kind of like
Get in front of him if you can. He's deaf, one eye only, red hair.
There's
If all else fails, just throw a rock at him.
There's a
He won't like it,
smirk on
but
his face.
he will immediately assume the worst if he thinks you surprised him.
Okay.
Up close. Surprised him up close. You hit him with a rock, he
from a
probably
distance.
knows essentially from me.
Realize before. Okay.
Tell that fucker that he still owes me from last month's game. If you do, and you see him before after business, let him know.
What's the names what's your name so I can make sure he knows who we're
I'm
talking
Quartz.
about? Quartz?
Yeah, just
Gotcha.
tell him Quartz. I'll let him introduce himself because I think he switched his name again. And I'm not gonna tell him he still owes me from last month.
Okay. And just one more question real quick. Which eye? Which eye, so we know like what side to approach from and what side not to approach from. Which eye does he still have?
You can still see straight out of it, just left side.
Okay. So approach from the left. Gotcha.
And from the left, up front if you can. Good luck.
Thanks.
Hopefully, we'll only need it a little. But appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah. Oh, just eye out. And it gives you a quick up and down. You look well enough equipped to probably won't bother you, but if you run into a few bandits and whatnot, just give them a good show, and they usually back up from engaging unless you run into a large bunch. I'd recommend giving them a big enough berth where they won't take the time.
Any groups that we should know about, or any like particularly like common ways they
this close. Nothing that this big close to the city that aren't independent normally. But if you see them like group bigger than 7, means they're gathering, and they usually only do that to plan a big ambush on a caravan, or you unlikely stumbled across them gathering up within the halls.
All right.
The shit they've been doing that week. It means they gather it up, either hide it or just spend it amongst whoever's currently that leader. That position gets tossed around very easily on whoever doesn't like them. Bandit life is not great.
Well, definitely right outside a big city.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I want to go after the smaller town, but maybe we should talk about that somewhere else.
The more organized ones know how to work within the city. They're smarter about it.
Well, when they organize,
ones
they
that
can
like
get
to do the
smarter. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Shall we go?
Thanks for the info. Yes.
Yeah. All right, you guys make your way out. Unless there's anything you'd like to do before leaving the town.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Was there any shops that we had heard of, or I guess I would have heard of, like that are notable for like magic item equipment sort of stuff, or is it mostly just inside the stuff that's inside the arena?
It'd be mostly the arena stuff. This place does not have, because magical stuff in general usually has to be traded for with specific traders that are usually on the move. This place doesn't have an established magic shop yet.
Yet. That's being worked on.
Yeah. That's being worked on. The only ones who can usually carve stuff like that, unless you find a specific person who works in that kind of thing, or if you get one of the natives of the island. They can usually whip something up, but it's always got that nice little strangeness to it.
Yeah. I don't think kobolds should be... Like, I think he'll actually like say something along the lines of, I don't think kobolds should give us too much trouble.
They did put in the flyer, they think that's what it is. They don't have definitive proof.
Yeah, it sounds like something comparable level, and we can improvise if something happens. But, yeah, maybe it's not. We'll find out, though. Worst
You
case
guys have
scenario.
never heard of the legend of, like, the Great Cobalt?
No, I'm trying to roleplay as my character. I know that, like, kobolds, like, if they're in large enough numbers and they are organized right, can take down, like, a party of level 20 characters.
This is actually a kobold in, like, a giant tent pretending to be a baby dragon.
Adorable. I want him as a pet.
I mean, fun fact, the god of the kobolds is actually a higher divine rank than both of the gods of the dragons. Like, it is the god of the kobolds is more powerful than Bahamut and Tiamat.
Which is weird because they essentially worship dragons for the most part, which is funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's more kobolds, and since the god, I mean, it's mostly just if you have the larger the population of like a specific race, the god of that specific race tends to be more powerful the more of them there are, and there's lots of kobolds.
Oh yeah. Here's a little conspiracy theory from my end that I'd love to put into a few worlds. The surface kobolds that most people interact with are the dumb ones that are kicked out of kobold society, and there's a subterranean race of super genius and magically adept kobolds.
Like they get smarter and more powerful the farther down you go into the caves, into the Underdark.
No, like the main house of them, like whenever someone was like, okay, this guy is it's essentially the Hunger Games, but instead of making them fight to the death, it's like, okay, you've been chosen, I'm so sorry. They immediately get feeble-minded and thrown out into the world. You're doing a great service, you're letting people think we're stupid. And they're just slowly growing the army down there of like actual fighters with capable magic.
Kobolds being the ultimate threat to the universe. Nice.
Like, we came out here for a war, and half of you guys have defeated yourselves. This is way easier than we thought.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're good to go, or did you guys want to do anything?
Yeah, no.
I think we're good.
Anyone else? Any stops? No, ready to go? We're off to see the gnome.
Yeah, gnomes and kobolds do not get along. But we'll sure chat about that.
But yeah, you guys make your way out of town. You see North Gate, as you were told. And you find that the road soon splits 3 ways. One straight north, one to the northwest, and one to the northeast. Which one do you take?
He said it was as if we were going towards the other city. I don't remember what direction that's in.
I don't think we know what direction that's in.
Actually, that's a good point.
Just looking the flyer, just looking for a small ranch, little place of filled fields that's to
looks
the
farm-ish?
west.
Okay.
There's a thickening forest of hills and trees to the north of you. There seems to be a smoother with a few rocky shores and, plains to the west that look like there's a small, there's a small stone fence popping up that seems to start over with some essentially land being developed and farmed. And then to the east, there is a start of the small mountain range.
I think we need to go west.
I think it was the west. I was not expecting to have to navigate, which is frustrating.
It was
I-
in fact the west. Yes.
We guessed correctly.
Yeah. We got a decent survival check. I think I could figure out forest, mountains, or plains. Which one's better for farming?
No, yeah, I think it was the farmland, which would be what he said it was to the west. So, okay.
Alrighty then. You guys make it there. Now, who's keeping an eye out for your destination as you travel down this path? Someone roll me a quick. I need 1 survival check and 1 d20 roll as you make your way down the path.
From the same person? Or
Anyone who wants to make the survival check is free to do it. Anyone who wants to make the d20 check is free to do it.
I'm guessing Roy should be the one
survival.
to. I'll roll the d20 unless Heidi, did you want to roll the d20? I'll roll that d20.
22 for survival.
15 on the 20. On the d20.
Alright, that's a 15. Roll me a d4, please.
Okay. 2.
And very quickly to the south, you see 2 very large sloth-like creatures, but they are the size of bears.
Mm.
And they are slowly meandering through the grass, not sure, through some of the bushes. One might be eating, the other just scratching their face. You're uncertain. But as you're slowly passing through, they do notice you all as you notice them. What do you do?
Do they seem hostile at all? I guess I don't know if we would know that yet.
You can,
Do I know
Someone
what
can
type
try.
of animals these are?
if anyone wants to roll me a nature check or a history.
I will help with your roll, Roya.
Okay, both +0. Let's do this.
Maybe I should roll then.
Yeah, you should roll that.
Actually, this might be interesting. So, are you helping with my roll, or
I will help you with your roll.
okay? And you said nature, history, they're the same bonus. So I'll just roll nature, I guess. Ooh, that's actually 2 really good rolls. 18 and a 19. So with the bonus,
Ooh.
19 plus the bonus, 22.
All right, and with that,
Frustrating
you
roll.
can tell. Well, you've not encountered this monster personally. You've heard these guys, for the most part, they're very relaxed, and only if provoked or very harshly startled will they get violent, and that'll that becomes extremely clear because slow and sloth as they are now, and they do normally eat berries. Do you see that the hands that they're walking on seems like an odd shape until you realize that they have massive claws that they seem to bend down, so like they're walking on their almost on their knuckles, and just their clawed hands are just essentially sheathed on the back of their hand and wrist. Kind of just stay there.
Away, yeah.
Yeah, just bent in, and they don't really come out until something happens.
Okay, so I will kind of like put my arms out and kind of like hold the others back and kind of give them a signal. Quietly, he'll say, "Hold up! Don't startle them. Supposedly they're peaceful unless they're provoked. So we should probably just let them pass."
Usually told to give a pretty decent, roughly 30, 40 feet and just walk around if you can. No loud or too sudden noises. For the most part, they're pretty, chill and relaxed unless there's something else there trying to hunt them.
Yeah.
These guys are not the kind to run away, stay, fight, and unless it's something super dangerous, they'll probably end up dying, but they're not the type to run away.
Yeah.
Too lazy for that. They will fight.
Relay all of this stuff, and let's give them that wide berth they recommend.
Yeah. All right. So within the first 10 minutes, you reach roughly the first bit of seems to be farmed, tillable land, and you see very far into the distance. Not sure how long it'll take you to reach. There is an actual house, and seems to be a stone structure. Not entirely sure how that was made. That seems to be the only farmhouse for this very large and tilled field.
I think that's the house.
There's a house to the side, but there's a large structure to the side. I'm assuming this might be the equivalent of the barn of this place or something, but it's essentially just a larger house to the side. But it seems to be made out of stone.
As we approach, do we hear anything from either of the buildings?
It'll take you at least... And how big a place is? So, essentially from leaving the city, it was roughly an hour for you guys to get to the actual house. Because it's not like on the edge of the street. You have to go into the actual property of the tilled farm and essentially the worked land. For the most part, you don't hear much. The only noises you were hearing was the basic sound of a few rustling leaves in the forest. Because on one side of the trail, there's the plains that are worked land, and to the other, it goes from the same kind of slopish landing to very thick foliage, and the beginning of the very large and main wood and forest that covers the island.
All right. Shall we, I guess, knock? Check in?
Would knocking work on someone who's deaf?
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point.
Roy was gonna start to see if there's any windows she could look into this building.
We hoping someone would just barge in, damn it.
I kicked the door in.
He said it, y'all heard it, it's official.
No, I'm kidding.
Virtue, I think the door's open. Why don't you check to see if he's inside?
Actually, that also depends. Who specifically went up to talk to that? No, the dwarf to get the instructions, because he only said that to those people, unless everybody,
I think it was all of
everyone
us.
is. I'm assuming everyone knows.
We were all there, yeah? Or at least we would have discussed it while we were walking.
Yeah, I think it was all of us.
Yeah. So,
Looking at the window,
windows.
do we see any gnome inside?
You do not see any gnomes inside through the windows that you can see through. And what is apparent is that this place was in fact not built for a gnome. Everything here is slightly bigger than normal size.
Interesting. Including like all the furnishing.
The furnishing, the door handle, like the average one, like you'd think like just above the wrist. This thing is going almost to just almost a foot over that. If you had to guess, this is built like those big ass orcs or maybe Goliaths. Seems to fit more this size of a house. And that's not even counting like the stone barn on the side.
I am assuming there's probably no windows on the barn-esque building.
No, that is a solid structure.
Okay. Do we see a door? I mean, I assume there's a door.
No, you do. You do. No, there's a door. Y'all just went to look through the windows first, but there's a door.
I'm guessing if we don't see him in there, he's probably in here. Heidi, everything good?
Yeah, I see her flash, but can't hear
I
anything.
hear... I'm not
I hear a
sure.
cat.
I think it's meowing. Or talking in the distance. I don't know.
Maybe if you can hear us, your cat is speaking for you.
Virtuous transformed again, this time into a cat.
Dun dun.
Or is that like moaning? Or something like that? I don't know. Okay, now
Might be something. If you're trying to speak, there might be something wrong with your mic because we can't make out anything.
Yeah. She hasn't said anything for a while, I don't think.
Can you type something out?
Is she snoring?
Maybe.
Oh god, it
Honestly.
happened. That's cool.
I think that's exactly what it is.
I think that's what it
Oh
is.
no!
Oh, that sweet poor girl. It happens. It's happened.
Oh,
Oh god.
It's just
Remember
kind of
those days with Drac and like the 5-hour,
Oh, God,
6-hour
yes.
Oh,
sessions?
jeez, yeah. But you know, there was a certain aspect of it was nice to have long sessions, but we were starting decently late already, and
those
we
are not
went
until
until
like.
And we kept it going.
2 in the
Wait.
morning my time, and I know it was like probably
Didn't you
later
guys hit
for
like
her.
almost 2 hours with that like roof
Oh
talk?
yeah!
Man, I forgot that
I
that
was
went on so
barely
long,
awake
yeah.
for that, and I realized how
Everyone else
how are these
left.
guys not as
Everyone else, including Drac, left so we could finish that scene.
Right, because we were kind of just uncertain of, like, I mean, I think,
It was just
we
a
wanted to
weird
keep on
place
going.
to stop. Yeah.
yeah, we wanted to keep going.
there was
but-
no place to stop, so let's just keep it going
Let's just
and
keep
go
going, and
go.
then it just didn't stop.
Man. And it kept on going and going. And don't get me wrong, it was a very good relationship that the two of them
It
had.
was.
and
That was a really good scene. That's still one of my like most memorable scenes from any of our
Oh,
yeah.
campaigns.
one of the highlights of...
Did we get a full recording of that? Because
Yes.
that is something I'd love to hear being done.
Yes,
I
yes.
can remember bits and parts.
Good times.
Let me find it.
I mean, those campaigns have plenty of problems, but we had good times in
Good times,
between.
good times.
And plenty of good stuff. I don't hear the snoring anymore.
Yeah.
I have no idea if
Maybe-
she's on push to talk or if it picks up her voice and she just isn't snoring at the moment.
I guess, do we want to call it here?
I was going to ask, does anyone actually approach the door?
I mean, I'm assuming Novi would approach the door.
Yeah, we would definitely approach the door.
Like, slowly.
Alright, now what are you going to do though? Just try if it's open, knock, shout, scream? How are we trying to see if anyone's home?
I mean, shouting and screaming I don't think are going to be all that effective. Well, it seems like he might be living with somebody, so maybe knocking would work.
Let's try knocking.
Let's knock.
Knock, knock.
Alright, how hard, how frequent, and how
He's
many
asking
times?
How hard? This thing is rigged to blow. We're going to die.
All of these questions are important for specific reasons that you will
Okay.
hopefully live to figure
I'm
out
gonna
later.
take like 20 steps back and then shoot an arrow at the door. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I got things I could do, but like I don't know if like this is an appropriate situation for it.
I'm gonna knock regularly. Just knock, knock, knock.
Let's knock regularly. And let's just say, I guess for the time being, Virtue is picking flowers or something like that. Picking daisies.
Alright, whoever's doing this, roll me a quick strength check.
Oh,
Do you want to do it or should I? I can do it if you want.
you could do it. I feel like you're the
Alright.
stronger one of the two of us.
I actually forgot what your strength is, but it's
got a plus
fine
one.
either way. Oh, I got a plus two.
I'm more dexterous.
Well, I got a +2, but I rolled a 2 as well, so that's a total of 4. Ooh, cramp.
Did you even knock?
Yeah. You take a point of damage when you try your best to knock on this door. This door is...
So,
weren't sure what it was made of now, and now you know that bitch is stone, is what that bitch is made out of.
Ow.
Knocked.
Your point of
It's
plus.
nicely carved, it's decorated, so you thought for a second it was just some fancy kind of wood or something. No, that's stone.
I knocked like the joint of my finger into one of those grooves.
Wow.
Jeez.
Did you just lose to a door?
It's a tradition as old as time in D&D.
I just pictured you saying that in character.
V casually breaks the fourth wall. As you do.
As you do.
No,
Seeing
it's a hard door.
Eris, or seeing
V.
V, hurt his hand on the door, she's gonna go up and also try to knock, but more like side of her fist, hitting it with the meaty part of her hand.
Be careful, there's still some bone on the side there, so it could hurt. Hopefully later on I don't die by 1 hit point or something like that. It's always a possibility.
It is. She's also gonna try and call out. Hello? Anyone inside?
Anybody there? Anybody not dead?
And you hear something in the house, rustling, some footsteps. And slowly you hear something almost like stone grinding against stone. And that's when you notice there's a handle on this door, but there's no hinges on the side.
Oh.
And then slowly, but very audibly, the grinding sound continues as this door begins to slide to the side. And looming in the doorway with the shadows slowly being, pushed back by the light of the outside with the door now being pushed up. Okay, there's characters here. Oh, NPC.
What was that?
This is who you see opening the door, but they are wearing a large overcoat with a big fluffy scarf. Seems to be a roughly 7 foot, maybe 6, maybe 8 foot tall Goliath woman.
Oh.
Oh.
No eye patch though, right? I just want to make sure that was like.
No eye patch, red hair, holding a small red cat in her hand.
Oh.
Oh, you're not a gnome?
So she's holding the red cat. I'm gonna just kind of like look to the side behind her. Is there like, do we see this gnome somewhere behind her, or is there like, how far? Is there anything
She
notable?
is taking up the doorway almost entirely and looking down on both of you.
You said 6 foot what?
Roughly 6. No, she was 7 foot.
Oh, 7 foot.
6 or 8.
Not 6
Right,
foot.
you
7.
notice this
6.
big stone door, and she's taking up most of it.
Hi. How's it going?
We're looking for a gnome. Have you seen one of those around here?
Yeah, we're not entirely sure what his deal is, but put up this poster, kind of pulls it out and kind of shows.
And she looks at it for a second, and it's not sure if she's reading it or not. She's just looking at it until she seems to eyes widen a bit in realization. And Roya, only you can hear this as she speaks in Giant. So I finally caved and asked for help, and starts chuckling to herself. And then she just, for some reason, brings up the small cat. Now you notice this is a normal, just slightly smaller cat, just in her hands. It looks like it's a kid, but this is a straight up normal cat, and she just starts making little faces at it. Still speaking in Giant, and just for a second just turns and just looks like she's concentrating on something for some reason. And that's when you hear more ruckus and more noises as a small gathering and pitter-patter as you see dashing from one of the small corners. The room in the back is very poorly lit. Like, there are no candles, no nothing, and as the window showed, they themselves don't really let much light into this place. And you see dashing through in what looks to be a patchwork of furs and leathers, with a large gardening hose strapped to their back. The red-haired, one-eyed, and yet to be named gnome comes barreling through the side hall.
Barreling
And just screams out, "Really? Where? Where are they?"
Roya will turn toward the woman and in Giant just ask, "Is he the one that asked for help?"
And you see her smile at that, and in Giant respond, "Yes, and I will not be my husband letting that. I'll not let him live that one down for a good while. Thank you."
There's a look of mild surprise before she just shakes her head and turns towards the gnome.
Meanwhile, V is just thinking to himself, "My man."
They're speaking in odd grunts for this form of Giant. Like, think the Mongolian throat singing just without trying to make it sound like a song.
Was the last comment in common, or is this all been in giant?
Entire conversation been in giant so far.
Okay. So he wouldn't know.
Except for the gnome that burst in who did yell this out in common.
Okay.
Who seemed to be talking to her specifically. Just, spurting out the really where.
Okay. So while they're chatting, V asks Roya to catch him up. What's the sitch?
He's the one that asked for help.
All
Yeah.
right. Are they married?
Roya tries her hardest to suppress a smirk. Why would you think that?
The doors don't seem like he would be able to open them himself very easily. So somebody else would have to do that.
I mean, she could just be a caretaker. Hired help.
Maybe? Did she
No,
say
they're
anything
married.
about it? Okay. Called it. Now he thinks I'm mad. Oh, is Heidi back? Is Heidi back? I heard her chuckle.
I thought I heard her. I don't know if she's actually on.
Yes.
Yay!
Ah, there she is.
You're back! Yay! How
you
was the
fall
flower
asleep?
picking?
No.
We heard either like the meowing of a cat, or we weren't entirely certain what it was. For a bit, we were thinking that you might
Oh,
be
that was-
snoring.
We don't know if you were like away from your
Oh,
keyboard
yeah.
and your cat just took over playing.
Probably just like
No,
dipped.
my cat was.
Went to go do something. Sorry.
He was hanging out on my chest.
No.
Nice.
Precious.
Nice.
Yeah.
They do
Hey.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Roya will turn towards the gnome. So you asked for help exterminating pests. What
Yes.
details can you give us?
They ruined my fields. Come, I'll show you. And he just dashes out and there's just a back door, and on the house this size, it looks like he just jumped through the equivalent of a doggy door. Again, this door is stone, bottom half, just like normal drape flaps. That's just a small 3x3 square at the bottom. And he just
Well, I
tumble
guess-
rolls through it saying, "This way!"
I guess that answers that question.
She'll turn back towards the woman and in giant Goa. Can you open that door for us?
Got an interesting husband there.
Chuckles. And she chuckles and says, "Just a moment." And again, you hear that very loud, audible, and you could see like the muscles in her hand flex as she does this one-handed, but that looks like a solid stone door. And sneaking and opening these doors stealthily is likely not happening unless like some good magic is involved.
Yeah, you need a full-on silence spell.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, no, she opens it, parts the way, and lets you pass.
And I guess Roy will follow the gnome wherever he's
Yeah,
running.
I guess. I mean, he's running, but he's got, I
Little
assume, a
legs.
fairly short wingspan. So let's.
He's
we can-
just under 3 feet, and he essentially did like a barrel roll to get through this door.
Wonderful.
Here's the thing. He did that at a side angle specifically to not catch the essentially 5-foot long gardening tool he has strapped to his back like a weapon.
Is it like a scythe or like some sort of hoe? I don't know.
No, it's the gardening hoe. This is a tool of farming. This would make a poor weapon.
Okay. Interesting. I guess, yeah, let's follow after him and maybe call over Virtue so she can catch up.
Beep, 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 beep. What's the sitch? Impossible.
So how much of all that did you hear? What was the last thing you got? Or did you hear all of that stuff?
It kind of was in and out for me.
So it's just the internet.
I don't
Okay, that
know,
makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm not really quite sure what I heard. So we've got an orc apparently, and we've got some gnomes, and we're
Goliath.
following the trail. Goliath.
So if you go to art and NPC
I see.
characters, you'll find,
Yes.
and then the small gnome who officially put the job on the board, and he that you've now met seems to be leading you out towards where he believes these quests are. He's a bit deeper into his, little farming land. He did run past the large stone, I want to say, it's a good roughly 15, almost 20 feet tall stone little barn. And from the side you were approaching, you couldn't really see an opening or door, but from the backside, you do see that it has an opening on the side, and there are a few horses, equipment, and whatnot inside this place. Like a few more than you'd think just for this one person. So it looks like he might have people working for him that just aren't here at the moment. If you want, you can follow. You can follow the gnome. It seems to be running deeper into his fields.
Yeah, following after.
Oh, absolutely. We're following the adorable little gnome.
All right, and it's a light jog, roughly think maybe a football field and a half of length from his home to where he's essentially leading you towards. And you do notice at different stages at this time of the year, the crops are just now starting to come in. They're not fully ready to harvest yet, but they look like they're coming in good, solid harvest this year. And this place is massive.
Large farmland, yeah.
Nice.
Could we tell what was being grown here?
Specifically where you are or where you're going?
I guess where we are, because I assume it's probably going to be different farther out. And
from where you started towards the town coming this way, it seemed to be starting out as wheat, and then as it came in, it actually started to change to a few little. There's patches of different vegetables you could see, depending on. You could roll me a quick nature if you want to identify them, but you assume that these are vegetables growing through the ground, the dirt. Some you recognize, others you're not sure until someone probably ready them for you.
Okay, I think I'll just pass on rolling that, but vegetables, it sounds like food crops, probably sent into the cities.
Further far down to the northeast, there are a few, seems to be an orchard of an unknown type of possible fruit. Not sure which one now, you'd have to get a closer look for that, but that's farther down the line. You definitely can assume that this guy has help when it's time to actually harvest, take care of this place.
I guess we probably brought it up before, but it's been a while. What season is it right now, roughly?
I'm trying to
Autumn?
I think it's just about. It would have been ending. Fall is. Yeah, it's getting to the end of fall.
Early
just
winter.
To start autumn.
Okay.
Very early, not yet close.
Yeah.
But it's also a bit strange because this stuff is coming along a lot. If you've never been in a farm, you'll know it's usually very spotty depending on how it's grown. Some things might be going well, but nothing is ever as this congruent, and this seemed to be well off.
Okay.
Nice.
Interesting. Got some.
Somebody had a good ag teacher.
Or something else.
That's a definite possibility.
We'll see. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to stop here? I'm open. Excuse me. Jeez.
If you guys want, I can just describe the quick scene you walked in on, and then we
This
can
might
call it
be
there
a
for the
good
night.
spot for me
Yeah, let's do
personally.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, if
sounds
you wanna
good.
do it.
Yes.
All right, and as you go down, and you'll see there's a small little, almost like a mini valley that it takes you in as like the hills
Mhm.
go, and you see what looks to be these small, almost fenced off area. You're not sure what he would have been growing here because this entire roughly 30 by 40 foot square that is fenced off has been completely dug up. So you're not sure what was grown here, but that is
Okay.
where he's leading you to, essentially pointing to the place where parts of the wall or parts of the small wooden fence were essentially broken off, ripped out of the ground, some places hacked away at others. And it's very obvious that something came in here in a large number, ripped apart this place, dug up whatever was here, and left, with a very obvious trail leading back and out of his essentially a little farm, and just going into the wooded forest down the way.
All right.
I guess Richard
And
will
that's what
call
we'll
to
call
the
it.
little gnome. Yeah, what happened? That no leaves that question to be answered
Yeah.
next week, I
Yeah.
guess.
Get that.
They done
answered.
stole my precious.
They stole my wheat.
Stole all my sheep and my pigs and my cows and my corn. How could they?
They stole my sheep.
And my taters. They stole my taters.
Not my taters.
Yeah, but you do see the old little gnome man that he is one eye visibly crying as he's pointing to like the little dug up place.
He doesn't seem to be deaf, or at least he's got some workaround, it seems
Aw.
like.
Interesting.
Poor baby.
Yeah, it's weird because you guys did show up at his house and the stone door was loud as all hell. And nothing happened until his now revealed wife specifically. You don't know why. She didn't call or ask for him. She just talked to you guys for a second and then just did that weird looking toward the back and just odd little bit of squint focus before he came barreling in.
She's got some, or some
Telepathic
some
stuff
kind of
going on.
connection, psychic, or something other. I guess we'll find out.
And you guys can definitely ask or try and find out next time
Next time.
on Greedfall.
Yeah.
Next time. Yay!
Hopefully we'll be able to actually talk with him and get him to answer